which is chapter 18, and I'm going to share my sheet. So this was what I can say, maybe a simple or a small chapter, a better word to say, because chapter 18 mounts to one thing, and that it was in my insight. Jethro, Moses' father-in-law. This what chapter 18 was about, which I find interesting that Moses written all this information, and also understand that he did not take credit for something that his father-in-law did. So again, all this is about Jethro. Jethro, who was a priest of Midian, and he has another name in the Bible, Ra'u. And Jethro, while Moses was in Egypt and everything that was going on, and Jethro was in Midian, he heard everything that had happened. He heard about it. Of course, we know how things get messages by messenger, and people who's running from one place and get information to another person. And I want us to remember that Jethro was from, again, Midian, and Midian is from the bloodline of Abraham through Keturah, his second wife, after Sarah had passed away. So that's amazing to me. There are so many people, even myself at the time, read the Bible many times and still did not catch on that Abraham had a second wife, Keturah. It's just amazing how we miss all these little details that make us miss the bigger details. Zipporah, which was his daughter who married Moses, she understood circumcision. So this is a well-known practice, and we know where circumcision came from. It came from Jehovah to Abraham. Abraham taught his household, and he taught his children. Midian was one of his children from Keturah, so he was taught that, and then it just went on to generations. Now, Jethro most definitely was rejoicing at what Jehovah has done for his people. And remember, Keturah was an Egyptian. She was. So that also was Jethro's people. But Jethro acknowledged the praise of Jehovah's people. Now, I also find this very fascinating that Jethro offers a burnt offering and sacrifices to Elohim. Like he knew, like he had the instructions, he knew what animals to do. He knew it. So it's just amazing to me that we don't see that there's a connection, that possibly Jethro himself was still serving Jehovah. Is it possible that the priesthood that he was following, him himself, not all the Medians, he himself was maybe following after what he was learned under his father's bloodline, the Medians, under Abraham? So he offers this burnt offering long before Moses, long before the priesthood of the Levitical priesthood. And who is there with him after doing his offering and sacrifices? We have Moses, Aaron, and the elders, and they eat before Jehovah. So there's some approval there. There's something going on there. Now, again, those things that we read and we don't have concrete information. We don't have the linking connection to the scripture, and it leaves us in wonders and questions. So there's some questions that we will not get answered. But there's going to be a time that we're going to know all. Then Jethro offers the wise advice to Moses, and that's to point people, leaders over the people, thousands, hundreds, and fifties and tens. This is because Jethro witnessed Moses wearing out himself and wearing out the people, trying to be all to the people, and the people making Moses all to them. So most definitely he gave him that advice. So I had no word study from chapter 18. My cross-reference is there. And of course, my question is what priesthood that Jethro may have followed. I'm going to leave this information up for a moment to give you opportunity to ask questions, make comments, or anything that you think that maybe I missed or something that you found very profoundly from chapter 18. So we're going to jump right to chapter 19. I recommend you to pay close attention to all the words in this chapter 19, which Psalms, I've been studying Psalms a lot. That's my daily read right now. And I find myself having to reread because I'm catching something different and something new, something refreshing, because his word is always refreshing. So let's pay attention to all the words that's been written here for Exodus chapter 19. In the third month, when the children of Israel was gone forth out of the land of Egypt, that same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. For they were departed from Rephidim and were come to the desert of Sinai and had pitched in the wilderness, and there Israel camped before the mount. And Moses went up unto Elohim, and Jehovah called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thou shalt say to the house of Jacob and to all the children of Israel, and you have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wing and brought you unto myself. Now, therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then you should be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. For all the earth is mine, and you should be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. So I'm hoping everyone paid attention to those words, because this is a part that people miss, 19 and